Thank you so much for joining us. And straight ahead, a phone call sent an elementary school into our area into lockdown. It has since been lifted as the phone call turned out to be a hoax.
We'll tell you more about how the school is responding tonight. And construction is disrupting a busy and important road in Monroe. What the affected businesses are doing to keep customers coming in despite all the construction.
Your countries are going to hell.
And President Donald Trump gave his address to the UN General Assembly today. From domestic to foreign issues, the president didn't hold back on his criticism of other countries.
And even though Disney announced Jimmy Kimmel's late night show would be returning tonight, some ABC affiliates are not having it.
Well, there was a scare at an elementary school today. The district says a student called 911 around noon claiming someone had a gun at Holloway Elementary. The superintendent says the school went into lockdown within minutes, but there was no gun found. The call ended up being a hoax. The lockdown lasted about 30 minutes and parents were allowed to come pick up their kids. We're told police are not pressing charges against the third grade boy who called 911, and the district will decide what, if any, punishment the student will get. The superintendent of Springfield Schools says despite the scare, Holloway is a safe place.
The team that Springfield Schools has is incredible. It's a great place to be. Even if your child is scared from today or questioning from today, talk to them, but then you got to get them back to class. It's almost like when you swim and you have an incident, you got to get back in the water when it.
Superintendent Matt Geha thanked law enforcement for the quick response and says all of the training for situations like this paid off. Again, this call ended up being a hoax.
Well, welcome in to WTOL 11 Plus, now Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan's only live local streaming newscast. I'm Jeff Smith.
And I'm Kaylee Marentat. Our top story tonight, traveling through the city of Monroe is going to look a lot different and likely take longer starting next week. That's because part of Telegraph Road will be closed for construction. Faith Zahowski has the story.
Starting next week, a portion of a major road through Monroe will be closed for some time. Commander of Monroe's Public Safety Department, John Wall, says Telegraph will be closed from Holiday Boulevard to Stewart Road starting September 29th until October 20th. The purpose? To replace a culvert over the Mason Run drain that travels under the street.
Although this is going to be a high impact, and there's going to be a lot of impact to the city of Monroe, patience is a virtue, right? And we certainly want people to exercise a little bit of extra time, understand that there's going to be some delays.
Wall says the periodic construction and lane closures on I-75 in Monroe County were also taken into consideration when planning this construction. He says Monroe Street will remain open during the closure, although he says he expects an increase in traffic there too. One detour is to take Stewart Road to Monroe Street to Front Street to get back onto Telegraph. Wall says it's important to note that all the local businesses in the area will remain open. I spoke to two of those local business owners who both say they're running specials to keep customers coming in.
For the month of October, we're doing a half off draft beers. And I'm sure we'll come up with other stuff, maybe some food items that we'll put on special to try to bring some more clients, you know.
People can go on our website if they're concerned about trying to get into our store, that they could buy something. We will ship it at no cost to them. So that's kind of our strategy right now to go at it.
And while residents might find other detours, Wall urges the public to keep the safety of their neighbors in mind.
These are residential neighborhoods that you might drive through. Speed limits are very important. We're all in this together, right? We understand that the pains that this is going to cause temporarily.
Faith Zahowski is joining us in studio tonight. Faith, you drive this way to work every day. How are you going to navigate this construction?
Yes, so like you said, I drive this every day. I drive the highway if it's not backed up, but when it's backed up, I take Telegraph. So now that Telegraph is closed, I'll have to take Monroe Street, which will be open. The city says will be open throughout the whole closure, but they anticipate traffic as well.
I was going to say, if everyone is taking Telegraph and now everyone's going to be taking Monroe Street, you said it sometimes will take you an hour and a half because of construction. How long would it typically take you if the roads are clear?
Yeah, if the roads are clear, 35 minutes down I-75.
Wow.
But Telegraph is about 50 minutes. At least I'm moving. I can't stand when there's that standstill traffic, but Telegraph is longer. It's the back way.
Okay, I think everyone can agree that it's going to be a headache for everybody. So did they mention why both lanes are going to be closed at the same time? That kind of feels like more of a headache.
Right, so city officials tell me that they debated closing for 3 months versus 3 weeks. So if they close for 3 months, it would be 1 lane at a time. But they decided to go with the 3-week route because although it's an inconvenience for those 3 weeks, it's a speedier process that way.
Can you take us through again what exactly work are they doing? We were talking with Amanda Fay. It feels like they've been doing work forever on this stretch of road.
Yeah, so Telegraph specifically, they're redoing a culvert for a Mason Run drain. So it's a lot of underground work. And while it's a small portion of Telegraph, it still is a big impact. Even the city tells me they understand it's a big impact for everyone in the city.
Not even just drivers, but business owners too. There's got to be some impact to businesses. Tell me about on that front, how that's going.
Yeah, so I spoke to 2 different local businesses today, Atwater Street Tacos and Jaeger Shoes, right on Telegraph there. And they want people to know they're still open regular hours all through this closure. On top of that, they're both running different specials, different deals to kind of keep customers coming in. Atwater Street Tacos is doing half off their draft beers, they tell me.
Yeah.
Jaeger Shoes is doing free shipping online, so they're covering shipping costs for anybody. And another thing I want to point out, they both have different locations, which is nice, additional locations, I should say. So Jaeger Shoes actually has one in Toledo, so no obstacles with that. And then Atwater Street Tacos has one in Flat Rock, Michigan, a little bit farther north. And while Atwater Street Tacos says they don't have alcohol at their additional location, Jaeger Shoes is still doing that online special.
So hopefully this doesn't impact them too badly.
Right, yeah.
All right, thanks Faith for joining us. Jeff, we're going to send it over to you.
Right now, we're tracking the stories making headlines across the country and around the globe. Jimmy Kimmel will be back on late night airwaves tonight, but some ABC affiliates are choosing to keep him off the air. Second on the list, President Trump addressing the United Nations today, and his message was heard around the globe. We'll have more on that. Conversations continue. The discussion over the White House announced link between acetaminophen and autism. But first, a man charged with attempting to assassinate the president learns his fate. The man accused of attempting to kill President Trump last year on his Florida golf course has been convicted. Ryan Ruth was found guilty on all counts today, including attempted assassination of a major presidential candidate. During the jury's reading of the verdict, Ruth appeared to try and stab himself with a pin in the neck. An eyewitness inside the courtroom said authorities were able to stop him. Ruth faces the possibility of life in prison. He will be sentenced on December 18th. Still lingering questions today following the Trump administration's warning about taking acetaminophen, the active drug in Tylenol, while pregnant. The White House says Tylenol increases the risk of autism, but offered no new facts to back up the claims. The Autism Science Foundation is calling the administration's warning misleading. And now the FDA's plans to update the safety label on acetaminophen to reflect the new warning is in motion.
You're destroying your countries. They're being destroyed. Europe is in serious trouble.
A scene from the 80th United Nations General Assembly earlier today in New York, the president giving a nearly hour-long speech where he said the United Nations was not living up to its potential and he railed against its failure to end wars. He also urged the group to stop buying Russian energy, which got backing from the president of the European Commission. As for the U.S., President Trump declared that the country is in the midst of a golden age. Jimmy Kimmel coming back on the air late tonight, but dozens of ABC affiliates around the country are choosing not to air the show. Broadcast groups Sinclair and Nexstar are still saying no. Last week, Disney, the parent company of ABC, took the show off the air because of Kimmel's comments on the MAGA movement's response to conservative activist Charlie Kirk's assassination. But just yesterday, Disney announced that he would be back on the air tonight.
Still to come, award-winning actress Scarlett Johansson is off screen for this movie. She's making her debut as a director with a movie coming out this Friday about love, resilience, and grief.
I just want to inspire those kids to just be like me.
And facing challenges in overcoming the odds, a teen facing a rare disorder, then brain cancer, finds the strength to achieve a high honor. His inspiring story next.
I have rain on radar across the area for parts of the region tonight. More wet weather into Wednesday. We'll highlight the hour-by-hour timing and how much rain could fall coming up next.
The Libby Glass strike has now stretched into its second month. Workers are still on the picket lines, and the community is stepping in to help. Jack Crum shows us how a donation drive is making a difference for families during the strike.
Now, it's been 1 month since the Libby Glass strike began. It started on August 22nd. Fast forward a month later, here we are, September 22nd, and it's ongoing. Now, some organizations right here in Toledo, even right down the street from where the strike is going a little bit of an extra mile to help those workers who are impacted. You can see right behind me the local 700 chapter of the USW right here in Toledo. And pretty much what they're doing today, 9 to 5, they're having a donation drive for non-perishable foods that's going to go and help the workers who are impacted by those strikes. So I was in there just a second ago. I saw everything from canned goods, bottled water, cat food, dog food, toothpaste, you name it. It's all in there. They're collecting it for the workers to help them. I did talk to one USW representative in there, and she really painted a pretty clear picture of how much this really helps the workers who are impacted. Just get necessities, just get stuff that they might not be able to afford at the current moment as they're not collecting paychecks.
You can learn more about the Libby Glass strike right now on the WTOL 11 TikTok page. Well, award-winning actress Scarlett Johansson is making her debut as a director with her upcoming movie, Eleanor the Great. Academy Award nominee June Squibb stars in the film as a spirited 94-year-old who relocates from Florida to New York City. She moves to deal with the grief from the devastating loss of her best friend, but then she finds herself wandering into a Holocaust survivor support group, putting herself in the middle of a lie with serious consequences. Eleanor the Great hits theaters Friday. The spooky season is officially here. Spirit Halloween is kicking into high gear with the reveal of its hottest costume trends that will take over every party, porch, and pumpkin patch this year. Some of those costumes include the Fantastic Four, Squid Games, Star Wars, and Elphaba and Glinda from Wicked, which the anticipated two-parter series comes back into theaters this November for Wicked for Good. Well, Starbucks is joining in on the Halloween fun. The company is introducing a new line for spooky glow-in-the-dark cups and tumblers. There are 5 in total and come in black, purple, and white. The cost here from $15 to $13 depending on each location. Do we have costumes picked out?
Hard to think about that.
I don't typically go buy them. We make them. That's the fun of it. Yeah.
What do you make?
Oh, just all kinds of stuff. I'll have to show you the photos.
I guess so.
Yeah. One year I was Han Solo in frozen carbonite, and I don't know why I had to do this.
Right. The visuals.
I think his hands were more like this. My wife and I one year, we had our heads in jars.
I think you showed me that one, actually. That's pretty cool.
We were a bride and a groom, with a headless bride and groom.
I love passing candy out to all the kids that come by as well, seeing the different costumes that they've come up with too. It is one of my more favorite holidays, just to kind of celebrate and see the kids having fun and enjoying it.
What's interesting too is October's a weird weather month. Because we've had snow on Halloween, we've had thunderstorms on Halloween.
And 70s before too.
Last year was great.
It's a month of, it was, you're exactly right. It is a month of transition. We do see that fairly quickly, and pay attention. That's what we're going to start to see. Tonight, though, it's all going to be about the rain. And where we're getting the rain, it is all west of Toledo at this point. A little bit of light rain now into Lucas County across the Toledo Metro, a few embedded thunderstorms. And if you got it today, it really got your attention. All areas east of I-75 have essentially been dry, but let me take you to Defiance County, where the city of Defiance now getting some rain, including some downpours. And you may have the windows open as that rain just pours down. Back over toward Route 127, we do have some rain that is occurring, and up into Williams County, you've gotten clobbered with heavy rain. And I'm looking at some spots that have had up to about 3 inches of rain over the past 3 hours. A flood advisory in effect for parts of Williams County. Doesn't really mean big issues, but you may notice some high water and think how quickly we went from a drought to a dousing of rain in Williams County. Now into Fulton County, we've got rain that is out there from Archbold, heavy rain up there towards Sauter Village, which was around 2 to 3 inches of rain that fell just over the past few hours. Lighter rain toward Wasion and a little bit more east towards Swanton. The rain is really just beginning Swanton and into western Lucas County. Just arriving here to the Toledo Metro over toward 475, where we do have the steadiest of the rain. It is now from about Airport Highway, Holland, Springfield Township up towards Sylvania Township, Ottawa Hills, and parts of West Toledo now getting some of that rain. If you're south of Airport Highway, Monclova Township, Maumee down toward Perrysburg, it has only been a few sprinkles. In fact, the pavement probably still dry at this point. We all know we're in the midst of a drought. It is a moderate to severe drought. So those areas in Williams and Fulton County, now Defiance County getting clobbered good with heavy rain. We're going to soak that all up. Some rain cooled air showing up with 60s west of Toledo. And by tomorrow morning, a little bit of patchy fog, no major issues or delays. We're going to be in the 60s much of the morning and some on and off showers. I'll call it numerous chances of showers still going to be possible as we go into Wednesday. So here's a look at that hour-by-hour forecast as we get out the door Wednesday morning. Lots of clouds, some afternoon showers. It's still going to be fairly widespread Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening. So wet weather is something that's going to continue on Wednesday. Low 70s Wednesday. Lingering showers for Thursday, still in the lower 70s. We pop back to the mid 70s Friday. Upper 70s into the weekend, and it is going to be a brilliant weekend. We'll stay in the upper 70s, dry weather. Great for Race for the Cure on Sunday morning. And next week, the end of September, we stay dry to round out September and into early October. That's a look at your 10-day forecast. Kaylee, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Earning the rank of Eagle Scout is a tough challenge, and for one teen, the journey came with obstacles few of us could imagine.
Yeah, but his determination carried him all the way. Sean Giggy has this story from Texas.
A good amount of scouts.
When Stacy Mitchell II joined the Scouts in 2nd grade, he did everything a scout can do until he couldn't.
Long day.
Stacy has a rare and fatal muscular disorder. His muscles are slowly deteriorating, and by 12, he lost his ability to walk.
I was confused on what I would do still in Scouts.
Stacy says accomplishing anything from a wheelchair, especially your Eagle Scout, which had long been a dream of his, felt insurmountable.
Oh, Okay.
Nevertheless, Stacy, a junior at Cedar Hill High School, was determined to try.
Despite his condition, Stacy hit every milestone and reached every goal he set for himself, except one, his Eagle Scout. By spring, however, he had a project and a plan. A plan disrupted by brain cancer.
He was diagnosed a few months ago.
I question why me.
At some point, you realized you didn't want to sit around and pout? Is that what
Yeah,
it is?
just feeling sorry for myself. Because I know it's happened. I can't do anything about it. So all I can do is just continue to move forward.
When he's presented with a challenge, he attacks it head on.
So Stacy's mom, LaShaka Thompson, says that's what he did.
This is my Eagle Scout project.
While going through radiation and chemo, Stacy returned to Scouts, organized his Eagle Scout project, and made it happen.
And I was just supervising and leading.
With the help of about 30 other Scouts, Stacy repainted the handicap parking lines, replaced handicap signs, and repainted curbs at the First United Methodist Church in Cedar Hill. As a result, just last week, Stacy was presented with his Eagle Scout badge.
I just can't describe the pride that I have for him.
There's other boys around the world that are like me. I just want to inspire those kids to just be like me, to continue to just don't let anything put you down.
Inspiring others, a Scout's highest honor.
Do not give up.
In Cedar Hill, I'm Sean Giggy.
Over here,
Well, here in Northwest Ohio, controversy in Seneca County over decision made by the County Board of Elections. How big this issue became for even an Ohio gubernatorial candidate to join in on the pushback. And a proposed operational levy for Perrysburg schools is in the voters' hands. The district's Board of Education says program staffing and more will be at stake if voters reject it.
Great to have you with us here on WTOL 11 Plus now.
Here's a look at some of the local stories we are tracking tonight. Q&A sessions are being held to discuss the Perrysburg schools levy, which will be on the November ballot. The Board of Education says if voters reject the $7.83 million 5-year operating levy, the district would need to cut $6 million from its budget. Those cuts would include staffing and possibly a majority of athletic and extracurricular programs. The second Q&A in the lineup will be tomorrow from 7 to 8 a.m. at Maddie and Bella's in Perrysburg. Well, it was a packed house this afternoon in downtown Tiffin. People were there to talk about a decision made by the County Board of Elections. It passed a motion last month restricting who could be a poll worker. People describe this as a violation of the First Amendment, and joining the pushback was Ohio gubernatorial candidate Vivek Ramaswamy.
And I want to recognize that when a mistake was made, the first thing you got to do is correct that mistake that happened today. I'm proud of everyone here for playing their part and calling attention to a mistake when that mistake was made. I played my small part, aiming to put a national spotlight on the issue and start a broader conversation.
Today, the board decided to reverse course after public backlash. They rescinded that decision unanimously. Ramaswamy called the decision a mistake and is glad the board reversed it.
Well, WTOL 11 Plus now is Toledo's only exclusively streaming live local newscast. And since you're here with us, why not check out some of our other exclusive content that we have on WTOL 11 Plus? This week, Dan Cummins took the reins on Leading Edge to talk honor flight.
You enlisted in the Marines, spent the summer enjoying yourself, and then off you went to the Marine Corps. How many months later were you all of a sudden found yourself in Vietnam?
Would have been about 3, maybe 4. I got there in '68 December and got involved in the Tet Offensive in '69.
And you were captured then. Explain how that all came about. It was around Hue during the Tet Offensive?
Yes, I was in Hue and Tet Offensive, and then we had a number of outings where we'd go through the villages and check for traditional soldiers and stuff. And it was in one of those villages I got captured, left behind.
And your M16 jammed on you?
Yeah, I carried an M60 and I always volunteered for everything. And I was walking point and they didn't want a machine gun in point because I got attacked a couple times and pinned down. So they gave me a M16 in the middle of the night. I had no time to check it out or anything.
And they had a history of jamming at really bad times, didn't they?
Yeah. It wouldn't fire at all. I mean, they had a busted firing pin or something.
So here you are, you get captured by the NVA, or was it Viet Cong?
Viet Cong.
Bring me through the rest of your journey through there.
They kept me in the village for approximately a month to heal my wounds. They walked us every night. And then about a month later, they took us out in the jungle and we walked a little over 60 miles through the jungle barefoot. And we crossed the DMZ and we caught a truck there and I went to my first camp.
Wow, how about that? Catch Leading Edge next on WTOL 11 Plus. You can watch the full interview in just about 3 minutes, streaming right here.
A Wisconsin man is about to set off in a 3,000-mile bike ride for charity. Perry Kuzner will gear up in San Diego, California, then ride cross-country all the way to St. Augustine, Florida. He's asking people to donate a penny per mile, which comes out to $30 a person. The fundraising efforts aim to benefit several causes, including addiction support programs and programs for people who are homeless. He'll start the ride on October 3rd with the hope to finish in roughly 2 months. Hopefully no bad weather on the way there.
At some point or another, over 3,000 miles, probably going to encounter some of that. An incredible journey. Good luck to him. Weather-wise tonight, rain falling across parts of the area. So if you need some of that rain, hey, you look out the window. It's west of Toledo where we have the steadiest of the rain. Into the Toledo metro, some light rain just beginning now. Highs tomorrow at lower 70s. Still going to be a humid feeling day. Numerous chances of showers. And at times it could even be a few isolated downpours. Lingering showers Thursday. That wet weather all pushes out as we get into Friday. Back into the mid-70s Friday. Upper 70s into Saturday, Sunday. Weekend looking brilliant. Race for the cure this weekend. And it will be ideal Sunday morning, back in the mid-50s toward daybreak, low to mid-60s by about mid-morning, and next week winding down September into early October, several days right around the mid-70s.
Those lows really starting to dip down in fall.
Yeah, it seems like each and every day. Back in the 50s by most of next week.
Thank you so much for spending part of your day with us here on WTOL 11 Plus. Remember, this is your home for more than just news. You can stream our full lineup of local content anytime.
We'll see you tonight at 11.